This is one of the easiest parts of preparing your rod for use. It seems really complicated, but it's really not. So before we actually get to threading the rod, we're going to look at the reel. This is called a spinning reel, and it's called a spinning reel because you pull back this thing known as the bail wire, and then you cast, and then you start reeling it in. So for the purposes of this demonstration, because you can't really see the fishing line, I'm going to be using just some string. So this is one of the easiest parts. What we're going to do is we're going to pretend that this is our fishing line. So here's our line that's already been threaded through. What we're going to do is, if we were starting from here, we would take our line, pull it out from the reel, and just thread it through each eyelet on the rod. Until it looks like this. So this is what your rod should look like when it's properly threaded. You see how it goes through the eyelet. Okay, so this is one of the easiest knots to do. It might be a little bit more difficult for me just because I'm using the string and not actually using fishing line. So what you do is you start off by making a loop, and this loop would go through the hole in your hook that you would use. Then you take this stuff that's hanging off and you wrap it around 5 times. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, just like that. And then you take the end of it, this little metal part will be the end. You're going to take it, put it through that loop, then loop it back through also, and then you pull it tight and you have a secure knot that will hold your hook in place. This next knot that I'm going to show you is one that you would use on a jig. Now a jig is a kind of lure that you would use for live bait. So it's not just a plain hook. It does have some kind of attractant on it, so it has some kind of brightly colored detail, but it's not an artificial fish, it's not a frog, it's not a fake worm. It's just a little bit of detail, but you add the rest of the detail with the live bait. So now let's get on to this knot. This is going to be a little bit more complicated, and it might be a little bit more difficult with the string. Again, it'll be easier with fishing line. So what you're going to do is first you would thread your line through your hook, through that little loop on the top of your hook. So it'd be like that. You're going to take one end of it and start off with a very simple knot. So you would do the beginnings of a typical knot. You make a loop. This is one end. You stick the end through and you create this circle shape like this. But then for this knot you're going to take the other end and loop it through the circle so that you get kind of this thing going on. And then you take this end and you're going to, it's a little bit hard to hold the string, you're going to wrap it around on itself, and this is just going to give you some leverage to pull the knot tight so that it looks like that. And that is what your jig knot should look like.